Mashabela has launched a podcast series to celebrate radio legends. The one-hour talk show is aimed at celebrating the legends through interviews as they give a glimpse into their life stories. Some of the legends that will be featured are Jeremy Mansfield, Koos Radebe, Maistry, Modise, Tshabalala, Kasumba and Thuso Motaung, just to mention but a few. But for more on this podcast series, we're joined by founder and host David Mashabela. It's great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Good morning. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm great. Now, this is a beautiful concept because I think by virtue of doing radio work, it's your job to entertain, it's your job to tap into the lives of your listeners and sort of remain behind the mic. There's also that sense of anonymity because there's no visual. Why did you decide that you wanted to take us all on a journey into finding out more about the people that have shaped our lives, that have shaped public perception, that have shaped the music that we love? Why was this important for you?
You said it. Radio is... people tend not to see us, tend not to know who these people are. We know the voices. With the creation of social media, I guess there's a lot more of these social media posts. But there's a generation of radio hosts that were very, very popular, and people just don't know their stories. The likes of Shibabadu, Shibabu, and that's someone that people will remember very, very well doing radio on Sundays. And we decided, let me find out if I can put their stories together and see if because they're long format shows. They're 2 hours long, and I talked to them about where they grew up, the challenges they had, and so forth. So it's for me, it was an important one to do.
Yeah. Let's speak about the list of people. I mean, I read just some of them in that intro. You've got the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Talk to us about just some of, your, I don't want to say favorites, but the ones that you would look back on and say, okay, cool, you can take us through those favorites and those that you feel have really had a huge impact, especially being the radio personality that you are, the media personality that you are as well.
Look, there's some that stand out, not because they're special in any way.
You say they're special and they're favorites, so you can't take it back now.
It's just their stories are really captivating. People know of Tshabalala. People know of Koos Radebe, the founding station manager of Metro FM. His story is actually quite amazing. He was a guy who was given a blank canvas to say, start this thing and let's see how far it'll go, to compete with Radio Bob. And you and I know what he created. It's this monster of a radio station that has dominated South Africa's radio landscape for so long. The likes of Kasumba, it was quite special having a chat with her about her expeditions and her travels across the world.
Into Africa.
Adventures, I should call them that, exactly. So there are those that stand out like that. And of course there are some whose stories are easily forgotten. And Bendigo, who hasn't been on radio for so long, and I've decided, let me have a long chat with him. His was 4 hours long. It was a very long conversation. So there are some of those that just stand out almost immediately. Chili M's story is by far the most captivating. Not because he passed on in Jan, largely because of all the stories the rumors that we've heard. He confirms literally every single one of those stories. His is a very entertaining, and we laugh, we cry in his video because he wasn't on radio anymore and he really missed it. And so the stories are quite sentimental in their nature.
And in the podcasts that you've had so far, I mean, what have been some of the takeaways for you as a person who's much younger than a lot of these radio legends?
I feel like a student again. I feel like I've just started because they remind you, Thuso Motaung was having a master class. When I had him in the studio, I was like having a master class of how radio should be done. And I found that quite insightful. I watched Thuso Motaung's video over and over again just to remind me of some of the most basic principles of how we do this radio thing.
David, where can people stream this podcast? And how often do you have a new one out there?
I'm asked often, why don't I put it on YouTube? I'm saying I don't want to give these Americans free content. They haven't worked for it and they just get it. So I've created a website. It's kingdavidstudio.com. We load videos every week. So far we have 4 of these videos loaded. Chili M, Koos Radebe, Tom Patswe, there's some of those that are loaded right now. So, but we'll be loading them one at a time. Almost like you're watching a normal old school TV where you're waiting for next week's episode.
And I know how big the response has been. People are loving this and are just salivating over this fresh kind of content.
Yes.
David, where can people catch you? Because we know you're behind the mic.
I'm on radio Mondays to Friday, between 9 and 12, every day on Radio 2000. But you know, it's April. In April, things change.
David!
You work for SABC, you know this.
David!
It's that time again. It's that time again. So I'm just saying, watch this space. There might be a small, maybe not so small change, and then where I'll be after April. Look out for it. I said it first, right here.
David, all I'll say is, who knows? You're going to be one of those radio legends soon, and maybe I would have taken over your podcast and interview you and have my own masterclass with you.
True, do that.
It's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much. And yeah, April will come and go, and you'll be absolutely fine.
Yes. Thank you again.
That's David Mashabela has launched his King David studio, and he's interviewing radio legends on this podcast. A gripping and authentic hour or more talk show actually aimed at celebrating radio legends in South Africa through a series of interviews. Follow him on social media and keep up with all the developments in his career as well. April. We're going to take a quick break.